Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Trine, a Jovian Litany Let's Play Adventure. If you remember from last time, we jumped on things and pretty much killed skeletons. So we're gonna get right back to it. I believe I need to get up there some way, somehow. Not sure how that's going to happen. Oh, do I need to? Ow! Do I need to go up with this? Maybe I do. Let's see. It's gonna be a while. I have to protect myself from these fireballs. So while we traverse this incline here, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about a couple of issues I wanted to talk about. First off, in this episode, for the first time and only time in my life, I will defend George Lucas. The reason I'm going to defend George Lucas is because I'm kind of a Star Wars fan. Not kind of, pretty much a fairly good Star Wars fan. I remember when I was a kid, I would have lightsaber battles all the time. Of course, they were lightsaber battles with myself. I was the original Star Wars kid. I was fairly chunky, and I had lightsaber battles all the time with myself. Never really used, any implement to look like Darth Maul, but what I did do is, I wanted to be Luke Skywalker, and, I wanted to go ahead and kill Darth Vader. And so I looked really, really dumb a lot because of that. So, I'm going to be honest about it. My therapist tells me to be honest about all those things that I'm embarrassed about. And so, thus, ergo, is partially why I'm doing these Let's Plays. But anyways, I'm going to defend George Lucas for one reason and one reason only. Because he, in the prequel movies, tried to introduce the concept of whatever created the Force. And he did it through a thing called midichlorians. And midichlorians are basically little microscopic life forms that are supposed to discuss the Force with us. I'm not 100% sure on what they do there. But they're supposed to enlighten us on the whoa, I almost died there. Enlighten us on the Force and everything that it does for us, and yada yada yada. And they're these little microscopic organisms that live in our bodies, which, when I talk to people, is a completely and totally asinine idea. What do you mean we have little things in our cells that aren't part of us that tell us things and yada yada yada? And I'm going to defend George Lucas because you know what? There is precedence for this. There is a reason why he created that idea. He didn't really create the idea. He just, I guess, read a biology textbook. There are things in a lot of living organisms called mitochondria. And mitochondria, and I'm amazed that most people haven't put it together, but mitochondria are independent organisms. Some people call them organelles, but really they have their own DNA, independent of ours. And what these little organelles, organisms, whatever you want to call them, their job is to do is to be the powerhouse, the energy provider of the cell. So, in George Lucas's universe, they discuss the Force with us. I don't know exactly what he was getting by that, but I do understand the concept was that they both were the same type of little cell. They kind of sound similar, mitochondria and midichlorian. And I think because of that fact that he was actually being a little bit clever, or somewhat clever, he should be given a pass on the midichlorian. I know everybody loves to hate George Lucas. He vitriol has just been spilled regarding everything that he has done to ruin his own legacy, yada yada yada. The truth of the matter is, you know, it's his to ruin if he wants. Can't say that I enjoyed the prequels. I can say that I felt relieved when they were done and over with. I can say that it definitely wasn't the best way I would tell the story if I were him. But then again, it's not my story. George Lucas clearly is a human being. He has foibles, he has issues, and that has really kind of shown as of late. I don't judge him for this because he is a human being and he's allowed to make mistakes. I don't get mad at him for ruining Star Wars. Star Wars pretty much should have stopped by the end of the trilogy. It didn't, so it was ripe for the ruining. Let's just say. But you know, he decided to do a cash grab, and he probably was starting to have to go into his savings, cut into his savings in order to pay for things. So that's probably the reason that the prequels were made, and I'm okay with it. I have no problem. You know, everybody needs to make money, and he has just as much right to go out and make mistakes as anybody else. That being said, he's definitely past his prime, if he ever had one. And I don't think that the new Star Wars is going to be anywhere near the old Star Wars as far as quality goes. So, you know, I'll watch it. I'm not looking forward to it. You know, I'm cynical. I've been on this ride before, so you know, I'm not even optimistic, but I will watch it. So there's my rant about George Lucas. As far as this game goes, I originally started this Let's Play playing the video game with my with my other rig, which basically is an AMD APU processor, or APU I should say, accelerated processing unit, blah blah blah. It has onboard graphics that don't suck. That's the gist of the APU. And I have since switched over because I found when I was editing videos that I definitely needed a little bit more oomph in order to get things done in a reasonable, time-efficient way. So I have another rig, which is basically my main server, and in that rig it has an i5 3570, which is one heck of a processor, if you ask me. I never really was an Intel guy. I was an AMD guy for the longest time, but you know, there's just no arguing with raw performance, and this thing pretty much chews through anything I throw at it. I've had to up the RAM and do all of that stuff that makes video editing a little bit easier. So I have done that, and I have transported all of my games through Steam over to this this computer. So hopefully the video quality is a little bit better because I can run it in a better resolution. I really see no point to putting it in a 1080p because, you know, really, I don't have bandwidth enough to watch it in 1080p, let alone upload it in 1080p. That thing that'll take a couple days in order to do it right. But you know, I'm pretty pleased with how things are going. I still have no subscriptions to my channel yet. Had a comment or two. You know, all in all, I'm pretty happy. I'm not really doing this for the comments. Like I said before, I'm doing this as kind of like a journal for myself, and you know, just just to kind of share some of the silly little nuggets that affect me during the day, things I think about while at work and stuff like that, that I might want to share because, you know, hopefully YouTube sticks around for a long time. And if I ever get to a situation in which, you know, my children don't have a good memory of me, or, you know, God forbid something like that happens, but, you know, they will have something to remember me by. Not that I have been diagnosed with any terminal disease or anything like that, or that I should be actually thinking of that being completely healthy. But, you know, I've been around many people who are very full of life and bright and happy, and they were cut down by things like cancer. And so something like that is always in my mind. It's not really about, you know, feeling like I have to say something. It's about, you know, just being able, finding a way to communicate those things that I'm thinking about now and not necessarily going to think about in the future, because myself changes or my children change, and, you know, I may have something to say now that the children aren't ready for, and, you know, hopefully Google and YouTube will be immortal enough that, you know, they'll be able to look it up once they realize that, you know, I'm not as dumb as I thought my parents were. So, still have no idea as far as the next games I'm going to partake in. I think I'm going to go ahead and keep doing Minecraft. Going to finish that. Going to continue with Trine. Maybe I'll do Trine 2. Maybe I'll do another game like perhaps... I don't know. I saw The Fall. The Fall is a kind of a interesting kind of sci-fi horror thing.
It protected the castle.
So I might do that one. I don't think there's a whole lot of Let's Plays on that, so that might be interesting. I might do it on the new Alien. I think it's called Alien Isolation. That might be interesting to do. Can't really say that I like the Alien games. Again, mostly for the jump scares. When I was a child, the first time I ever saw the movie Alien, I was way too young. My father was, how shall we say, a free person, free soul kind of a thing. And he thought that me and my brother were far more mature than we really were. So we were exposed to different things that children, in all likelihood, shouldn't be exposed to. So I saw the movie Alien way too early, and that really screwed me up. I think it really screwed up my psyche. Anything H.R. Giger has done really is wrong, and wrong in the right way. I mean, I'm a big fan of his. He has a way of tapping into, you know, the darkness. I mean, look at old pictures, old photographs of him by his work. You want to talk about metal? That guy is metal, okay? He was metal before metal was around. And H.R. Giger did a lot of the design of the alien in Alien, which continued on in Aliens and things like that. And, you know, I have to say, I'm a big fan. Not to say that his work is pleasurable to look at. It's actually pretty frightening. But, you know, I think that's what he's going for. I think you have to be scared of it to a certain degree to enjoy it, you know. You have to have a certain quality about your personality and fascination with fear in order to do well with H.R. Giger's work. He's also done some stuff which has been fairly, without, you know, unapologetically pornographic. I mean, without doubt. And that's actually some of the most interesting stuff that I have seen of his. Again, not because it's sexy in any way. It's just that mixture of fear and sexuality is really interesting. Very, very interesting. Kind of like chocolate and peanut butter. Well, that's probably a bad comparison, but I think it gets my point across. So, how come I feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over and over? I mean, I do like this game. I like this game a lot. The problem is that there are game mechanics in here that seem a little overused. And I understand they have to fill a full game and make puzzles and things like that, but it gets a little old after a while, I have to say. Not that I'm complaining. Okay, and yet again, it's the wizard who saves the day. Go get the experience, wizard. Yay. So as far as some of the things happening in the world today, one of them is Ebola. And we have just had case number 0, or whatever the term is for that, case 0 of Ebola in the United States. And I think Ebola is kind of a very scary disease as far as outcome, as far as, or what they used to call hemorrhagic fever, as far as survivability. It's a nasty disease, and I don't have a lot of the details. This is just stuff that I have learned about Ebola because I've been fascinated by it for a good while, and I always thought that would be one of the things. Even before it was popular, that would be very scary to have happen in my lifetime. And I knew it was kind of again, going back to mathematics, if anything is able to happen mathematically, it will at some point. So, at some point, this disease is going to become out of control and will kill a lot of people. The problem is that there's too much fear about Ebola. At least Ebola as it is right now is very deadly, but it's very preventable in that it is only transmitted through bodily fluids, infected bodily fluids like feces, blood, things of those sorts. And infection control is able to help reduce the risk. So things that modern medicine is doing right now in order to limit passage of diseases like this can easily help people not get the disease. Things that are common in the first world, like washing your hands, clean drinking water, proper disposal of waste, and things like that, are the things that are going to really minimize what just happened. Why are these rolling balls of death after me? Stop it! Ow! Minimize its transmission in the first world. This is not the first time humanity has had to deal with transmission of disease. We have a lot of smart people in this country and in the world that know what to do. So I don't think it's anything to panic about. But you also need to be responsible for yourself and taking care of those around you with education. And if you know somebody with Ebola, stay away from them. They are sick. They may die. You may die by being around them. It's just that simple. These are lessons that we've learned over time, many, many times. As far as the outcome in the U.S., I don't think, like I said, I don't think it's going to be that bad. But we have patient zero, and we will need to monitor that to make sure that it, number one, doesn't mutate. I think a virus like that mutating is a very, very scary thing. Not something that we would want to ever see happen, because of the fact that it is so deadly and it is so virulent. Under the right conditions, it can multiply and kill and wipe out cities and things like that. So we have to be very, very cautious about it. But we're also the most advanced nation in the world, and we know it needs to be done. This is a very interesting puzzle. Take that, you sniper. Okay, so I don't really know exactly what to do here. Are there switches? Does anybody know? Here, let me get this guy here. I ain't afraid of no whatever that is. Axe? What kind of some kind of bladed thing? I ain't afraid of that. Uh-oh, I should probably go over here before I Okay, putting it down. Whee! Okay. Okay, what do I need to do to open that? Or do I just go above it? I think I might go above it. Again, we are going to be helped out by our friend. Yay! Okay, so there's a switch down there. There's a save point. And I have opened it all up now. Hooray! So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my magic to gum up the gears. That's right. A corrosive element. I stopped the machines from working. Ouch. Ouch. Bye-bye! Toodaloo! Okay. So anything else happening in the world that needs to be talked about? Let's see here. I am not a very political person. I am not a very religious person. I'm a very spiritual person. But as far as alliance to one cause or the other, I can take it or leave it. But one thing that I am especially looking forward to is the upcoming election. And I'm looking forward to it in a way in which, kind of like that sick part of your brain makes you not turn away from a car accident. And the reason is, if you want people to be at their worst, make them a politician. And that's all I have to say. I have lost faith in this endeavor. I've lost faith in thinking that any politician has my best interest at heart. I've lost faith in the fact that it can actually get any better. And I understand that, I don't really have it all that bad. But I also understand that, freedom to ring, things have to change. And I'm dissatisfied. But I'm also morbidly curious, let me put it that way, about what exactly is going to happen in the future. Because, I really don't think that anything is going to be solved. I think problems are going to be buried until they disappear, and new problems are going to fester. And I think that's just the way of society. That's the way of people in general throughout history. And,
we have a long way to go if we want to reach the ruins before night.
I'm not fooling myself at all anymore.
I feel like a boulder has lifted from my shoulders.
Okay. Change of scenery. Same game mechanics, different background. Ooh, I can knock this off. Yay. Wonder if I can step on that and not get hurt. Yay. Yay. Okay. I don't like these. These are not very nice at all. They're a little bit better when you can have a certain amount of control over whether they go down or not. I don't play video games on consoles. I've tried to play video games on consoles, but I don't have a good sense of using a controller. There are some games that are better with controllers. And I like the fact with a console that you can sit back in a chair and relax. With a PC, you don't. You have to man something with both hands. You have exceptional control over the game, but you have to man whatever control over the character in the game. You have to man it with both hands in kind of an ready position, which I don't like, because you tend to not be able to relax as much as you would if you were just using a controller. So those are the bad things about PC gaming. Great things about PC gaming is that I'm able to construct my own console at will. If I don't like the way my console works, I can fix it. I'm pretty handy with the hardware. I built pretty much at least 40 to 80 computers in the past 13 years. So I'm very comfortable with that, and I'm comfortable with the idea of being able to make your own or assemble your own hardware and have the games that you like to play on it. I think it's a little bit of a selling out of the ideals, those ideals, especially from a company like Microsoft, who really want to make money at any cost, at sacrificing anybody. And I don't mean to sound like there's no good games for consoles or anything like that, but I think that they've pretty much with the Xboxes spoken as to what their main area of interest is, and that's making a buttload of money. So honestly, I think piracy has a lot to do with that. It has a lot to do with that, and in that case I can't blame them, because if you want good games made, you need to pay for them. Plain and simple. If you don't want to support a big company like EA, don't support them. But do support the ones that make great games. One of the best things I think that has happened to gaming is the Humble Bundle, and that's not news to anybody. It's opened me up to a lot of independent games, really quality experiences that I wouldn't have otherwise had, and I think that is partially the reason why a lot of these Let's Plays are able to be done and such a fantastic thing, is that anybody can find an awesome game, praise it by playing it, and people will appreciate it. And that's a game. That's a game sharing kind of a mechanic. I've never heard of anybody who has watched a video game or a Let's Play adventure a Let's Play video on YouTube that has said, well, I've seen the video, I really don't want to play that game. Well, actually, no, I take that back. Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't really want to play that game. But, anyways, so Let's Plays are awesome in that respect. And great advertising for small games like this. And, you know, for people who really are just getting into gaming and things like that, I think it's a service to do Let's Plays for older games like Trine and things like that, because number one, not everybody is exposed to a great game like this, and number two, I don't think it really had as much of a critical success as it deserved, even though I criticize it about being the same thing over and over and over again. It's still a pretty cool same thing over and over. I can do that. Wow, that skeleton killed himself. How'd you like that, man? Okay, let me go ahead and kill these skellies, and I think that's our time for today, playing Trine. It has been a pleasure. I hope if you do like the video or have a comment, please feel free to leave any critiques, concerns, questions. I am here to answer them. I am here to spend time with you all, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. So thank you very much. My name is Jeff. The band is Jovian Litany, and I am signing out. Y'all have a good night. Bye.